Hi, I'm Cynthia Brubaker, and I'm going to be bringing you the program that we like to do in Amherst called Conversations. And we've got two wonderful guests today who are going to talk about the new Amherst Survival Center. First, I'd like to welcome Dr. Sue Lowery and Lynn Griesemer. And Sue is on the board of the Survival Center and also on the board of the Capital Campaign. And Lynn is the chair of the Capital Campaign Committee. So we'll find out a little bit more about that later. But I wanted to start with you, Sue, and have you tell us a little bit, because all of Amherst is excited about the opening of the new Survival Center. Tell us a little bit about how it started, when the campaign started, the background of it.
Sure, I'd be happy to. The Survival Center has been around actually for 35 years. I've only been involved for the last 4 years. But it got started as a place for people to come together and to share what they had. And Jane Jalapa, who started the whole thing, really believed that through sharing there's enough for everyone. And women in the Amherst community would pool together children's clothing and other items that nobody really could afford to buy new. The programs then really began to grow to the point where we are now. We have really 4 areas of service that we provide. We provide food, both perishables and non-perishables. And every day that we're open, people can come and get beautiful produce and baked goods. We also have what's called a choice pantry, where people who are eligible can choose, generally it's about a 50-pound box of food that they can come and pick up once a month. Mm-hmm. And they go around with one of the volunteers in the pantry and choose what food items make sense for their particular household. Mm-hmm. Last year, we gave away 130 tons of food, which is an extraordinary amount.
And I imagine that amount has gone up as the economic conditions have worsened or have been bad. People have needed more food.
That's absolutely true. And in the summer, it's particularly difficult when families who have kids who get free lunch at school or a reduced price lunch at school, now the household budget needs to be able to feed all members of the family. So we see a lot more people coming for the midday meal. We serve a hot meal every day that we're open.
What are the opening hours and days?
We're open from 11 until 3 on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, and then on Thursday from 11 until 7 in the evening, so that people who can't make it by 3 o'clock can come and get their box of food. We also have some activities that go on in the evening.
Oh, for families.
For
That's
families.
Family night. Or food for families?
We have food that's kid-friendly, and everyone's welcome. It's one of the really nice things about the center is just how welcoming it is, in spite of our dreadful facilities that we're in right now.
I don't know how many people out there have been to the Survival Center in its current location, but how many square feet is it now?
It's about 3,000 square feet.
It's really tight in there.
Right, and I mentioned the produce and the food pantry. We also have a free medical clinic in there. We have a free store, and we're a gathering place. Mm-hmm. We're a place where people make friends who, and they can be part of a community, which a lot of people who are out of work really lose their social connections, or people that are, too poor to go out for dinner with friends.
Well, having been on the board several years ago, I can remember when we would have meetings, and I remember a couple of times we had to meet in the furnace room because every other room in that building was full of people doing things, food or sorting clothes or whatever. And so that was kind of when everyone decided that we had to get into a bigger space, I think. And then you all have been working on making that happen. So how long has this capital campaign been going on?
Well, we started the planning process first of all by looking at what the needs were, and then with that, and a committee that was co-chaired by John and Lise Armstrong, we went out and we actually, through either pictures or other specifications and visits, looked at up to 35 different possibilities. And at that point, we all really just coalesced immediately on the site of the former Rooster's restaurant, a landmark for some of us that have lived in Amherst for a while. And we began conversations with Mrs. Leonard, who was the owner of the Rooster's restaurant. She and her husband ran it for many years. And we negotiated a purchase of the property, which we closed on around June 30th, 2011. And we were able to do that using reserves that the Survival Center had put in place, and also with a very generous loan from Mrs. Leonard that helped us bridge until we were able to pay her
nice.
back. Yes. Then we actually started our campaign. And
When was that?
we started the campaign in the fall of 2011. And at that point, we entered what's called the silent phase of a campaign, and the total campaign dollar is $2.5 million. And during the silent phase is when you really hope to be able to talk to and receive money from big donors, people who have been extremely generous, many of them generous in many ways to the Amherst community. We serve many cities and many towns around us as well, and so we do find people from other communities as well. But Amherst is particularly generous. And so we also used that time period to approach businesses, to begin approaching foundations. And interestingly enough, the only federal or state money that has gone into the building was the original $75,000, which went to the architect, which is Ford and Gillen. And they, at that point, that came from the town. It was CDBG money, and that is the only federal. So in December of 2012, we actually reached the goal of $2 million having been raised.
That's so much. I mean, that's wonderful.
And at that point,
December
2012.
11.
We're in
What are we in?
I'm sorry, 2011. Thank you, December 2011. So in January 2012, we went into the phase of the campaign called the public phase. And that's been to raise the last $500,000. And I really have to say, we hope all of you will consider that. We are still raising that last $500,000.
Have you raised a lot of that, or how is that
We've
going?
raised almost half of it,
good.
but not quite.
Yeah.
We're somewhere close to $300,000 that we still need to raise, and but in the process, we've been able to have the building start. And as any of you drive up that road, you'll see that there's this very, very nice building of 6,000 square feet being built. And the construction people, who again are local, have been terrific, and they are the Western Mass Builders.
I've met those guys.
And, yeah.
I took a tour, and they were wonderful.
Right.
Very enthusiastic about that building.
Exactly.
Very organized, very on schedule.
Yeah.
Yes.
Been really
So we had an
wonderful.
official groundbreaking this last spring. 150 people attended it.
Well, because the Survival Center is such an institution in this community, and people are really excited about it. So what if people want to get involved and make contributions at this time? How do they do it?
They can go on our website
Okay, we'll put that up.
and make an online contribution. They can call us, and we will be glad to give them a tour of the present facility so they can fully appreciate what the new facility will have to offer. And we'll be glad to sit and talk with them about the campaign and the new facility and all of the many services that the Survival Center offers.
Great.
We're hoping that the construction of the actual facility itself, it will be done sometime this fall, and then we have to still outfit the inside and so forth. So we'll probably at the latest be moving sometime in January 2013.
Will you have a big open house?
Oh, yes.
Oh, good. And let everybody come and see it.
We will have a big open house, but even now with people who are interested, we're going to be starting to schedule what we call sneak previews.
Oh, good.
And we have to do those very carefully because the building is still under construction. Although every day you walk through, it's more and more looking like a complete building. And that will be a way for us to even further introduce the committee to, the community, excuse me, to what will be there.
Well, I think we're going to put up a floor plan as well as the outside of the building. Sue, let me go back to the fact that you really were the one that started the medical clinic at the present site. So, and it was in the executive director's office. So, how's it going to change? Go ahead and tell us.
Right now, there are 4 people who use that office space as where they do their work. That includes the executive director, the clinic coordinator, the operations coordinator, and the capital campaign administrative.
In one office.
In one office. Now, when the clinic was open, all of those people had to find another place to be because you can't see patients in a non-private setting. So, 4 people would need to leave and go try to find another place where they could do their work. And Dr. Dan Clapp was actually the first person to see any patients there at the Survival Center. He was doing Thursday hours, I was doing Monday hours, and we had a blizzard. So I didn't get to be the first, but I got to be the second.
And by the way, how many people now are doing this on a pro bono basis in the medical clinic?
Right now, we have 2 physicians who are volunteering each week. Dr. Dan Clapp is continuing to serve, and Dr. Paul Berman is also seeing patients. We actually have other people who would be happy to volunteer, but there's only so much time that you can kick everybody else out of their offices.
Oh, right, yes. No space.
So what we love to say is, in our new building, ... and then you fill it in with, we won't have to have a private conversation in the shower room, or we won't have to have a committee meeting in the furnace room, or when we have a board meeting, we won't have to unplug the refrigerator that's so noisy that you can't hear yourself think, and then remember to plug it back in an hour later.
Well, one of the things that I think this new building is going to do, besides it's it's going to be beautiful, and we'll talk about it. I just drove by it yesterday, and I'm amazed how far they've come. But it's going to be such a wonderful thing for the people who come there to use it.
Absolutely.
Because it's, being in a basement, in a dark, dreary basement, is kind of an insult, I think, in many ways. And now you're going to have this great space for people to
There's
use.
actually good data that shows that when you serve people in a decent setting, in a place where, the floor isn't crumbling and the walls are clean and the plumbing works, that there are positive effects on their self-esteem.
Right.
And, you know, the people that we serve are our neighbors. You know, they're but for the grace of God, any one of us could be needing help rather than giving help. And one of the best things about the center, in my opinion, is that you can't tell who's who when you come in.
Oh, that's true.
You know, most people who receive services there also volunteer. And then there are many people who volunteer who don't actually need some of the support services that we provide.
So,
It's
Well, let's talk about the new building.
okay.
And tell people what's going to be in it. And, you know, we'll have a picture up. So
Okay.
you want to kind of give us a little tour?
Well, if you're looking at the picture and at the top it may say Amherst Survival Center, off to your right is the road, the main road.
And that's right
And
across from Kohl's.
That's right across from Kohl's. And you'll come in by where the blue area is, and there'll be parking, which is a big feature for us because you presently can hardly park. And you'll come in the entrance, which is gray, and there's a big orange center box right there. And that's the woman that coordinates all of our services. And that box or that office has windows opening to all of the rest of the center. If you turn right into the blue area, that's where the free store is, where there's clothing, books, DVDs for kids, household goods, any number of things. We have a special closet that we help the homeless with. We have a special closet for when we work with women who are pregnant and newborns. And so all of that will be in there. There also will be an outside door that you can come in to donate to
that's
there.
good. Yeah.
Instead of having everybody have to come in through the main door. Then if you continue on into the gray area, what you're going to see there is actually a full set, a woman's room with more than one facility, and a men's room with more than one facility. Outside of that is a washer and dryer, and also a shower. We serve about 50 homeless people a month, and they come in, they take a shower, they get a hot meal, they take things back to wherever they're staying, and they wash their clothes, and
This is a great
it gives,
feature.
it gives them an opportunity. So then if you continue counterclockwise around, you go to a green area, and there's a large green area. And that's actually over above that will be a place where you can where we will have our food brought in. And again, in the past, a lot of that food came in through a window. And that food goes three different places. It either goes into the place where we do the food distribution of non-perishables and frozen foods and milk and eggs and so forth. That's the one program where you have to be income qualified. Otherwise, you do not.
Because it's part of the U.S. Department
USDA,
of Agriculture.
right.
Yeah, agriculture.
Right. And then the other long room in there is where we distribute the fresh things from that come in every day. We have many generous stores in the Amherst community who provide us with bread, fresh produce, fish, any number of things. In fact, we have one of our volunteers who loves to get the fish because he makes fish stew, and it's wonderful. And then the other thing is the general area, which is the kitchen. And the kitchen utilizes food that's either non-perishable or also food that comes in fresh daily. And it's a little bit like Iron Chef. And we have a wonderful kitchen coordinator with many volunteers, and it depends on which day it is, and a lot of different recipes that get used or that they come up with. And they put together in the space of a few hours every morning, very
It's
few.
a miracle.
They put together a hot meal with vegetarian, etc., meat variety, salad, green salad, fruit salad. We have one woman that's been taking home produce first thing in the morning and bringing it back as a green salad and a fruit salad every day for years. And in fact, should you be interested, If you ever want to be one of the cooks there, you have to be on a waiting list because the list is so long. And so one of the interesting things about the campaign is there's a counter between the green area and the yellow area. The green area and the yellow area, and that counter will be named by the Rotary. They gave us a business challenge gift of $25,000, and we have matched that with other business gifts from the business community.
Great.
And so forth. So then, if you come out from there, and you see these various tables in there. That's the community room. I call it the great room, but it's the community room, and that's where we will both be able to feed people and meet people and hold other events and so forth. And I'm going to come back to community use of the facility in a moment.
Good.
The rest of the yellow area is the brighter yellow area, is on the left, a conference room that can also be used as a training room for things like ESL. Another room that can be used for the many different groups that come from the outside to work with our clients.
Social
service agencies, mass health. There were people there during the census that were helping people fill in their census forms and so forth. And the rest of the bright yellow area down here is the new clinic. And there are actually 2 private rooms with a center in them where you can wait, so that there's actually an ability to go back and forth between the clinics and for both rooms to be available at once. Nice. The lighter yellow area is a combination of the executive director's office and other staff are housed there, some other ability to have a conference area, and the ability to do copying and things like that. This underneath part is another 2,000 square feet, which is presently not planned in terms of actually space.
You mean underneath this?
Underneath the whole building
Is the storage area.
Is the storage area. And I just want to mention that on September 7th and 8th, we will be doing our annual Trash to Treasures. So come on down to the Amherst Common. Right now, if you want to have furniture picked up, you can call the center and they'll do that, or bring it to the center.
And what kind of furniture do you usually have?
Everything from dressers to tables, chairs. We cannot take mattresses.
So no beds, no futons, nothing that people sleep on.
Right.
Okay.
No, and
baby beds, nothing like that.
Well, we can take the frame.
Oh, okay. The frames. Okay.
But we can't take the actual mattress. And we don't take electronics.
Oh, okay. No refrigerators and stoves, portables.
But it's everything from, I've been there and seen people bring in incredibly beautiful dining room, complete sets with cupboards and everything else.
What about rugs? Are you still doing that or not?
We do have rugs. I don't remember too many last year.
I didn't see very.
Yeah, I think the year
Might have
before
been a
I saw
couple.
several.
I remember one year we did it and it rained. And there were a lot of rugs that were spread out everywhere. That was good. I think there may have been some decision not to have quite so many rugs.
We do take cloth and stuffed furnitures and sofas, so that we will take that, but we don't take bedding. So
And
we'll
come and pick it up.
Yep.
Right, for a small fee.
For a small charge.
People, you've got a truck and they'll come pick up. So we'll get the phone number and where people can call about that.
Right. So the storage area that is down below can now be used for that once we move into the building. And that means we can also make that kind of thing available to somebody who maybe has lost their home through a fire or severe damage to it for some reason. So it's very exciting to be able to bring that element in. The other thing is that the way this has been designed, you notice there's no hallways, and it's because it's maximum space usage.
Good.
It's also a very green building. We won't be spending the money to go for LED certification, but it is a very green building. It has conduits so that when we can afford them, we can add solar panels onto the property at 2 different locations. And all of the air conditioning and heating systems are low energy, high performance kinds of equipment. So it's airtight. The builders have been, and the designers have been terrific about all of that.
Well, what about, Sue, are you all going to have a garden, outdoor garden or something?
Oh,
there? Do you hope so?
I'm actually not the person to ask about that.
Oh, the garden person.
Right.
Of course. Lynn and her beautiful gardens.
Well,
I can
Yes.
kill. I mean, I'm good with people, but
But
I
not
can kill
gardens.
plants
Right.
very quickly.
Our clients are very interested in having a kind of a kitchen garden, if you
Yes,
will.
I think that's
There's
good.
also an edible landscape is what we're really looking at. And what we want to do in that case is John Armstrong, who just was on the garden tour, and Brian Harvey, who happens to be my husband, we were also on the garden tour. Nancy Maglione, one of our committee members, a person well known to the Amherst community, has all agreed to be on the landscaping committee.
Oh, good. So it's going to be
And,
beautiful.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful
it'll
building.
be beautiful and edible.
Yes. Well, we're running out of time. Unfortunately, we could go on for a long time about this. And I know you were going to talk about the community usage. You're planning to have it available for various groups in the community to meet there, which is wonderful. We're all very excited about this, and I'm particularly excited to have both of you because you've been working so hard on this. And I know you'll love the new medical clinic and how many people it can really help. I mean, that is such a need, and you know, we're very glad that you're going to have that. So I want to thank both of you for coming and for being here, and be sure if you're interested in helping out in any way, give the Amherst Survival Center a call if you'd like to donate furniture for the Trash to Treasures fundraiser, or if you'd like to make a contribution to the capital campaign. We'll have the website and the phone numbers up. And thank you very much for joining us for Conversations, and hope you'll tune in to the next program when your host Isaac Ben Ezra will be back. Thank you.